Friends, my name is Mr. Campanell, and I'm here to do a little bit of Python programming with OpenAI's artificial general intelligence tool called CODEX. And today we're going to be doing something a little bit different than last week. This is what we're going to do today is we're going to take some R code and we're going to use CODEX, and CODEX is going to write the Python code for us. Now, if you've seen any of my episodes of Data Science Live, you know that one of the things that I preach is full stack data science. And full stack data science is knowing R, it's knowing Python, and it's knowing SQL. Now, personally, I'm primarily an R developer, and if you ask on a scale what my strength, Python strength is on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm probably going to say 2, okay? I can read it, I can use it if the code is already written, make some changes to it, but give me a blank IDE, tell me a project and say I have to write it all in Python, I'm going to say, wow, that's going to be a challenge. I can write it in R really well, write it in Python, But thanks to OpenAI's GPT-3 model, I can now have some confidence that I would be able to write that in Python, because I'm going to be using CODEX to help guide me with my Python code. So I'm going to take my C here. We're going to go on to change it up and take a look at my RStudio IDE and my CODEX IDE, and we're going to be writing Python code from R, and we're going to be using a data frame example to do that. So let's get started here. So as you can see, I have two IDEs up here. I've got RStudio over here, and I've got the OpenAI playground here for this. And today, what we're going to really do here is I've already written a little bit of R code, and we're going to plug it into the playground here, and we're going to generate some Python code. So let's move over here onto R. I have it in an R markdown format. So if you're used to notebooks and writing your code in notebooks, you can do it here. The nice thing about RStudio is in this, I can switch back and forth between R and Python, all in the same notebook. So I'm going to get started here, and we're going to start on the first block here, which is bringing in my R libraries. So I'm just going to run this. And as you can see here in the console, that I'm going to point out here, we brought in the dplyr, we brought in the readr and the reticulate library for Python. And my console here, you see I'm running R 3.63 in my RStudio IDE. So we've ran that in here. Now, the next thing I have is I've got this, I guess this is some World Bank economic indicator data, a lot of historical data that I have sitting in my downloads. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to read it in, and I think we'll just run this little chunk of code here, run selected lines, and we'll take a look at this data set here. This is my World Bank data set, and we'll open it up here in the viewer. Right, so got a lot of code in here for various columns, all by year, and what we got here. So we've got the country of the Philippines that we're taking a look at here today. But a lot of these economic indicators here, and that's what we have for our data set. I think I'm going to just take this here, and we've got 4,329. I'm just going to filter on here, and we'll run this selected line, and that gives me 1,400 or so records. And then I'm just going to create another select on the columns, and we'll run this code here, run selected lines. And so that's given me, what do we have here? Field 2. Let's just open this up and take a look at it. So we've got the indicator, all the economic indicators, and the years that I've selected here from 2015 through 2019 or through 2020. And that's our data set that we're reading and we're filtering. So what I want to do is I want to take this code that I put into RStudio. I'm going to copy and paste it over here into my playground for CODEX, and we're going to have it generate some Python code. So the first thing I want to do is just get my my settings here on the playground. Let me see what to take a look. Oh, I didn't really want to do that, and I didn't really want to do that. So we're going to go back here. We're going to get our settings. I'm using DaVinci Code. I'm setting the temperature to 0. I'm going to turn the response length up to, let's do it just to 1,000 on here. Okay, and well, I'm going to just start here, and we're going to run convert R to Python, Python. I'm going to say R version into CODEX, and now I'm just going to copy and paste my code here. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my 2 R libraries. I'm going to put those in here. And then I'm going to bring in reading in the data frame here. And then I'm going to do the filtering on the next line. And then I'm going to do the column select on this line. And then I'm going to just put my comment here for CODEX to say, this is the end of my code. I'm going to put a space here, and now I'm going to say Python version. And when I hit this generate button, it's going to generate the Python code for me based off of what I put in here for R. So here we go. Let's let the magic happen. Okay, so it's putting out a lot of code here. And I'm just going to hit the cancel button right here. We don't need all that. What we really need here is we've got, okay, let's go all the way back up here. So we got our Python version, so we're going to read in pandas and NumPy. It's going to read in the data frame, it's going to filter it for me, and it's going to select all the columns. And that's what I'm going to try to do in here. I'm going to copy and paste this data into my Python cell here, and we're going to see how this thing goes. So this can get a little tricky with Python, just for all the end of line feeds in tabs. So I'm going to see what I can do here. Push this down here. And I'm going to run this Panda data frame here and just see how this thing goes. So let's run. Okay, so it's pulling in Reticulate, it's loading in Python. Okay. Oh, yep, I forgot to put in my imports. Yeah. Okay, let's give that another try. One thing I'd like to kind of point out here is, I don't know if you noticed this, but the console changed from R to Python down here. I think that's a really nice little feature of RStudio as the IDE. So let's put these in again, and now let's run this. Okay, that looks like we've got some success here. And if we just kind of go over here, you're going to see that I'm in my Python environment now. I've got a data frame, and if I click it on, I should get a viewer on here. Yeah. So this looks really pretty much the same as, if we go back to R, right here, 4329 observations in my R data frame, and let me just kind of pull this over here. 4329 rows in my Python pandas data frame. Pretty nice. Okay, so let's go back here to, let's add the rest of our code in here. We're going to filter the data. So I'm going to put in the Python code that did the filtering. I'm going to copy it, and yeah, I'm just going to put both of these, the filtering and the column selection, into just this Python cell here. We'll run that one, and then we'll put the other one in here and see what we have. Okay, I want to put that, get rid of that, make sure we've got that. And let's run this again. Okay, so back into our Python, you see the filtered data frame here, and I'll just pull that, I'll just kind of pull that over here. We take a look at it in our environment. We've got around 1,400 records in this one, 66 columns. So we filtered it for the Philippines, and then we selected our 7 columns out of here. Field 2, we'll just open it up in the RStudio viewer, and yeah, pretty much looks the same as what we did in R. So I'd say that this is a bit successful. This would really make me happy that I can actually now write Python code by just writing R code that I know very well. So, and you could probably do this vice versa, that if you are a strong Python coder and you needed to write R code, CODEX can help you can go from Python to R as well. So nice example here today of really kind of working with data frames both in R and Python, and having CODEX write the Python code for me, which is super, super helpful. I love the help of machines, and great job for CODEX today. I'll be back again next week. I've got another example. I'm going to try to kind of build out something a little bit more elaborate, so we'll maybe use a few more cells in the notebook, take a few more steps. I'm going to try to work on the ranking data that I used in a previous episode of Data Science Live. And until next week, goodbye, dear friends.